2024 at 2:30 PM. You can start your motions. Number 2, make the motion.
Yeah.
Okay,
I make a motion to pay all the current bills.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And you want to ratify the payroll?
Yeah. Well, do I have to read these numbers off? Or
Just the totals.
Just the total right here.
So
Okay.
there's 2 pages, there's one that has 2 weeks and then one that has, where it's 2 different amounts
Okay.
for,
This is only one person.
so June 30th is just one person, Howie. Because
Oh.
that was a Sunday and I had to separate June 30th from the rest of last week because June 30th was fiscal year 24.
So, I'll make a motion to ratify the payroll with a total of $5,785.20.
That's for July 6th. Okay.
And then there's the ones for June 22nd and June 29th.
And it's 785.20. And then for June 30th, it's 101.32. Okay, now you can do this page. Do this one. The one up there.
This one,
Yeah, do that one. There's 2
Okay.
weeks on that.
we got the grand total, for, 6/22 and 6/29. The grand total is $5,464.74.
Okay, and now that's for 6/29, and for 6/22,
The overtime is $422.93, and overtime runs $165.54. Now,
okay.
what's this overtime actually for?
So part of that is for, there were 2 people who were on call last week, Dave and Ralph. So Ralph got paid for 5 days of being on call and Dave got paid for the whole week because that new on-call policy went into effect July 1st.
So that's just the on-call policy?
No, that includes the on-call payment and the overtime that will.
Okay, the totals you gave us include the overtime.
Correct.
Okay.
So that includes the overtime that was actual, so in Ralph's case, he got paid $100 for being on call, but he didn't work any overtime, and Dave got paid for on call plus the overtime hours he worked.
That was just for a standby situation. They
Yep.
actually didn't go to the,
Yeah, actually, I believe if somebody comes in, we can ask him. But David, I think he was out on a Saturday night,
I think,
and our town administrator had to come in that night also. So, because there was a problem on School Street, so the selectman called Jim to come in, and then when he got there, Dave had already been there. So, they got it straightened out. It was for Peter Krotzik. They had a
Yeah.
problem. And then they had to call out the construction company to come and fix it. Okay, next. The minutes of June 18th. Motion to accept. You gonna make the motion to accept the
Yeah.
minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for June 18th.
I'll second that.
As written.
As written, and I'll second that.
Motion made and second, all
Okay,
in favor?
I'll get
Aye.
that out.
And then the next meeting would be July 23rd at 2:30 PM. And that's on a Tuesday.
So here's the minutes for June 18th.
23rd and 2:30, boy, those two numbers sort of go together.
Mhm. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Number 6. I can't see the.
Number 6,
Yeah.
I make a motion to encumber the funds list and open article list.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, what have you got down for number 7?
I gave Howie I left him a copy of the revised agenda,
Yeah.
because his stuff got picked up before I
Okay.
reposted the meeting. So,
Okay, so regarding the pay sheets, what do you want us to do on that? Do you want to sign it and Ralph, and then if either one of you are not there, one of us can
So
come?
it's up to the board as to how they'd like to proceed.
But would that be all right with you? If we
What's
do it
that?
that way? They have Ralph and yourself approve the payroll?
If that's what the
I
board would
mean,
like.
unless it works out that we're at a meeting, because it's never,
Right,
we're never around at that time. But
sure,
if you guys aren't around, we'll have to make sure we
Right.
show up, so.
right. It's
Um,
just the practice of signing blank payroll sheets in advance is not a good practice, to get involved in. And the Department of Revenue has suggested that we don't do that.
Okay.
If the board, wants to meet regularly and sign them, then that's fine too. If the board wants to designate one person to come in and sign, whether it be the chair or somebody, then that person can come in and sign every week. Or if the board wants to delegate the chief operator or myself, then, you could certainly do that as well.
Okay, Lisa, when, the payroll usually gets here when, on a Thursday morning?
so most of the time, the accountant likes to get it by 10 a.m. Monday morning. However, occasionally it is due on a Thursday morning because it's a Monday holiday, or if the accountant's office is closed for some reason, like if she's on vacation or something, it has to be submitted by Thursday morning. She usually sends out a memo at least a week ahead, letting the departments know that the pay sheet has to be submitted by Thursday morning.
Okay. So Howie, what do you want to do?
Well, do we actually have to do something?
Yes.
Well, now, we gotta figure out just what we're gonna do. We gotta look for the easiest way.
Can we have one or the other, or would you prefer that we had 2 signatures?
The board could designate if you want to, if the board wants to vote to designate somebody from the board, then as long as the accountant is provided the minutes of the meeting that are been approved, then I think that would be acceptable.
I was thinking of either you or Ralph, because you're in the building, and then Ralph has his hands on the actual payroll once they're filled out. So,
So like Ralph can sign the pay sheets for the wastewater treatment plant staff, and then you could sign mine rather than if me scanning it and having to send it to Ralph. Either
Right.
that or Ralph would, if he was a person who dropped the pay sheets off, he could sign mine, but it would probably be easiest for you to sign mine, maybe, I don't know.
so-
I'll go with somebody got a good idea, the best way to go around it. You gotta designate somebody, or,
okay, can I make the motion?
Sure.
And I know usually the chairman can't, but I sometimes hear other people doing it, so. I'll make a motion to have the pay sheet signed after they've been filled out by the chief operator and the town administrator. If one or the other is unavailable, then a sewer commissioner will have to sign.
Okay,
Is that fine?
yep.
Do you want to second that?
I would say specifically the chair of the sewer commission.
Okay.
So then we know that
Yeah.
who the person is.
I would be, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
Okay, and
So-
then the chairman of the sewer commission would have to sign.
so Ralph, that's something Ralph's gonna do.
Ralph and Jim.
Well, yeah, I'll second that.
You look at the payrolls anyway, so, okay. You second that? Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I don't even know if I want to question this. Where do I want to start? Do you know anything about the overtime thing? Have you seen any of those yet?
They just started this week. I just saw some of the, this week's pay just came through.
So it would have been the one that, on the week ending 7/6 would be the one when you had to come in, when your vacation started.
Right.
I was just, probably didn't think that through too well, but I was just shocked at the price on David Gray.
What?
It's
what is-
$308.20.
So that, that includes his on-call pay plus the hours overtime that he worked?
So what is the, so so the policy is $20 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is, what is it, $40?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, of course.
So 3 days, that's $60, and then the other 4 days is
120.
120, so that's $200 to
And
be
then-
on call for
And
the
then he
week.
worked like a,
And then the overtime he got for coming in on Saturday.
Correct.
Yeah. It adds up fast. And then Ralph he oversees the whole project, right? So-
Correct.
Okay.
And so for the chief operator to be on call, it's a flat $100
Yeah.
stipend a week.
Okay. Okay, so he's on call all the time, because they have to call him and then he has to
Right.
designate who's.
Theoretically,
Yeah.
what is supposed to happen is that whoever's assigned to being on call that week, depending on the situation, would, coordinate with the supervisor, you know, the outcome of that situation.
I don't know if I like this. So, oh boy, you don't, I'm not even gonna mention it. Yeah, it would be nice to know, like the week ending 6/22, somebody got overtime. $422.93.
That was for more than one employee.
Oh,
I
was it?
believe that, yes, that was more
Okay.
than one employee. I believe Zach and Justin worked overtime that, and I think there were, I would have to look at the pay sheets, but I believe there were maybe, I think there were 3 guys who got overtime.
Did they get called in?
I don't remember, I don't have the pay sheets in front of me. I know that Zach worked overtime, and
Okay.
I know Justin put in overtime one of those
Okay,
days
so
too.
we're not gonna know anything, we're gonna have something like this, we're gonna see, but we need to know who's getting the overtime and why.
I mean, if you want, I can bring in copies of the pay sheets and attach them to that.
'Cause, yeah, just looking at this, I mean, and then 6/29, there was overtime that week too, but of course, there's always overtime, but I mean, we're not aware of anybody getting called in.
Yeah, 'cause,
Like,
well,
what's wrong? What are they getting
Yeah.
called in for? I mean, you don't know, but
Well, the chief operator should be informing the board.
somebody, yeah, or at least tell her so she can notify us.
Well, I know that, and like I says, there's always overtime, like a lot of times there's a standard hours worked to cover Saturday and Sunday,
Right,
because they
that's
have to go in
different,
and
yeah.
check the pump station.
Right,
So if it's the same employee who, because sometimes it's a different
Right.
person doing Saturday and
right.
Sunday.
But now that we have this new program, I'd like to just see, like, who is on call for the weekend, but that should be the same person that's getting this new program, right?
So I believe it rotates.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But,
Joan, I would think that this overtime should be on some paperwork somewhere.
it is.
It
but
is,
we just
it's
didn't
on
see
their
it.
pay sheets.
But we just didn't see it.
I mean,
No.
if going forward, I can attach copies of the pay sheets to that to
Yeah,
Now, why don't
part
you
of
do that? I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
And that way you
Yeah.
can actually look at the pay sheet and see what they put down for their
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Who did
call
it,
pay
yeah.
and,
Because before it was just the weekend stuff, and we knew somebody
Right.
was getting extra money by just looking at what we were signing here, but, yeah,
Now, they're getting a stipend for being on call, plus
right.
if they get called in.
And plus, if they need more than one person, that person would have to get that something
Right.
extra, so,
And I believe Ralph has secured a cell phone.
yes.
yeah.
That's
So-
one of the bills is for setting that up and for the first month.
Uh-huh. So that, I mean, I think the board should be made aware of that cell phone number.
Right, right, yeah, because we have no idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I
Well,
don't know.
Ralph sent an email out that I made copies of. He sent a memo out to me
Is-
and to all the departments like police and fire and highway.
Is
So
it
they-
in here?
It should
Okay.
be with the handouts you got at the meeting. I made copies of it. So basically, as far as the signing the pay sheets, I'll do the minutes and then they'll be voted on at the July 23rd meeting. And once the minutes get approved and I show it to Jackie, then she can accept the payroll
We
sheets.
just voted on it.
Yes, because the pay sheets have been signed ahead of time through week ending July 27th. So I'm just double checking on that Jackie can accept them with the one signature after the minutes have been approved and she
But-
sees a copy of them.
No, I think that they need to start now that we voted on that. I mean, at the time we signed them, we weren't aware that we were gonna be making this change, so I think they still need to be signed by Ralph and Jim.
So even though the
Right.
minutes haven't
put
been
another-
approved by the board, she can accept the pay sheets with just Jim or Ralph's signature on them?
Well, the minutes don't necessarily have to be approved, right?
Oh, you could just let her know and see if she wants, what she's comfortable
Okay.
doing. Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask her about
Yeah.
that.
Well, before they were saying, I don't know how true that is, but, I mean, we didn't always do that, but they said if somebody requested minutes, whether you approved them or not, they had a
Mhm.
right to see them, so.
Oh, yeah.
So
But, because you didn't sign like a statement or a
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
So the town accountant needs something to show that this was
Mm-hmm. Okay.
authorized.
All right, so, okay.
So the only way that it could be, unless you guys sign a form saying that you're instructing, that you took this vote and you will authorize this to happen, then the minutes would reflect that.
Okay, and Lisa, what is it you want to discuss about that number 8?
Number 8, I put that on the agenda because at the last meeting, I was told to put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
What is it?
Memo from the selectmen about signing up for this room,
Oh, okay.
if there's anything to discuss, really.
Okay, well, the only reason I put that on the agenda was because at the
Well,
last.
Lisa, do you know the procedure for signing up for the room?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well,
As long
that-
as,
you gotta follow that procedure.
I mean, before I post the meeting, I go downstairs to make sure the room is gonna be available on that date and time. I mean, if I go to sign up for a meeting at 2:30 and another board is having a meeting at, around the same time, then obviously we'd have to find a different time for our meeting.
Right.
any comments and concerns? Anybody have anything else? No, nothing. All right. Howie,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
No, not really,
Okay,
no.
all right, because we signed our bills and everything, so.
I just hope all these new adjustments are gonna go in a proper direction.
I hope so.
Like what?
Well, the,
Everything's kind of
all
black
this-
and white.
the new assignments for people, they gotta do this now, and
There's not that many changes, actually. I mean, they get the new overtime policy, but other than that, they have to do what they always do. I don't, unless I'm missing something, but. Do you have anything to tell us? We're done?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. You want to make a motion to adjourn?
well, yeah, we did, just discuss that part about the signing up for renting this room.
We don't rent the room, we just need to be able to use it. Yeah, she knows what to do about that.
Oh,
It just goes in the other room and makes sure that it's open.
Well, Lisa's gonna. handle
Right,
that.
when she posts the
Yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
basically,
It also stipulates it gotta be taped.
for instance, the 2:30 on July 23rd is the next anticipated meeting time. So I'll go, Karen has a calendar, and I'll go check the calendar to see if anyone else has already signed up to have a meeting at that time, and if not, then I'll put that time down, and then I'll post the meeting next week, you know, so that way once I put us down for that time, someone else can't put down a meeting at that same
Right.
time in the selectmen's meeting room.
I
Okay.
don't particularly go for that idea about being taped. That's just an excuse for somebody to find something wrong.
Well, right now, that's what we have to do.
I don't like it. I'm not going for it.
Well, we can't stop it.
Can't stop it. I can stop it, I just won't come here.
Just let us know if you're not coming.
We'd like to see you, Howie.
I don't like it.
Unfortunately, it's not our policy, that's the law. So if our advisory committee is available to record our meetings, then they are allowed to record our meetings per the state law. It's the open meeting law, and they have a right, as anybody else, if anybody else came to a meeting, they would have a right to record as well, as long as they've identified themselves and made it aware that they are recording the meeting, then they would have a right to do so.
You want to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah. I'll adjourn the meeting at, what did it say, 3 o'clock, Jim?
Yeah, how about that? Yep, 2:58, yeah.
Yeah, adjourn the meeting at 3 PM.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned.